Hey everyone, it's Candy. Welcome back. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys the 17 books that I read in the month of January. And I know that sounds crazy, but I have to say that 6 of those books were short stories. So it was a lot of reading, but not quite as much as it seems. So I'm actually going to start with the book that I just finished reading yesterday, and it is called Summers at the Saint by Mary Kay Andrews. I have to say thank you to NetGalley for the advanced copy of this book, and this one just seems so intriguing to me, and it doesn't come out until May 7th. But if you guys have like a vacation coming up, or if you just like to read outdoors in the summertime, at your pool, whatever, you need to add this one to your list. It's kind of like a romance, but it's lighter on the romance and heavier on the whodunit, like mystery aspect, which I absolutely love. So imagine this like fancy hotel sort of resort vibe on the coast of Georgia where all these rich people spend their summers, and there's just scandals and thieves and murder, and there's even a twist that I had no idea. Shocking to me. I absolutely loved it, gave it a 4.5, and I cannot wait to read more by Mary Kay Andrews. So now I'm going to talk about those 6 short stories. It's called the Improbable Meet Cute, and it has all of these popular authors who write these like really cute chance meeting sort of love stories meant to kind of celebrate Valentine's Day, and they were all really cute. I'll say 2 of them that I gave 5 stars to. I didn't write down the titles. One of them's by Christina Lauren. The other one is by Abby Jimenez. Those were stinking adorable. Those were my favorites. 4 stars to the one by Ashley Poston and Sally Thorne. Those were super enjoyable as well. And then Jasmine Guillory and Soraya Wilson, I gave 3 stars to those books. They weren't horrible by any means, but with a short story, it's like you either really hook the reader or you don't, and those just kind of fell a little short for me, but they were still super cute and worth reading. Personally, I love short stories, and I wish more authors would do this. I just feel like there's nothing better than sitting down and reading a whole entire story in one sitting. So if you can recommend some more short stories to me, comment those down below because I'd love to check them out. All right, rest of the books I'm going to be talking about are my stack right here. And let's just get this one out of the way. Toown by Frederick Bachman. He's a pretty popular author. He's written a lot of popular books. Toown was actually turned into a series on HBO, which I have not watched. I did not finish this book. I got probably about 75 pages in. If I'm not enjoying a book, I try to force myself to at least get to about 75 to 100 pages. I could see where the storyline was going. It was just way too much hockey for me. Like if you're a hockey mom or you like reading about hockey, this would be for you, but it just wasn't for me. Interesting Facts About Space by Emily Austin. This book just came out on January 30th, but I actually got it early because I'm a Book of the Month Club member, which you can join for only $5 if you'd like, with my link down in the description. It was really good. I don't know anything about this author. I just thought the title seemed interesting, so I was like, why not? It is written as though the author is the most scatterbrained person ever. It's just the paragraphs are super short and they're like all over the place, so I enjoyed it so much. I give it a 4.5. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. It was like reading word vomit. Like 1 minute she's happy, 1 minute she's depressed. When the girl went to visit her therapist to try to deal with some issues, they were literally watching videos from her YouTube channel from when she was a teenager. Like that just really hit the spot for me. I loved it. And then I read Golden Girl by Ellen Hildebrand, and I gave this one 5 stars. I've read a lot of her books, and most of them, in my opinion, are really good. This one is a great twist on death. Like, what happens when someone dies unexpectedly? And this woman that passes away actually is kind of takes the form of an angel, and she gets to observe her family and friends and how they move forward, how they react to her death. There's a mystery element to it, like a lot of Ellen's books. There's some humor in there, and I just thoroughly enjoyed this one. Then I read If He Had Been With Me by Laura Nolan, and I unfortunately did not enjoy this book as much as I thought. I've seen so many people talk about it on TikTok and talk about how they bawl their eyes out, and yes, it's sad. It has a sad ending, but the beginning of the book, I feel like just gives too much away. Like you already know what's about to happen. So it was like a 3-star book for me with a 4-star ending. Like I did like the way it ended, but it was just, there wasn't a lot of depth or character development. And I just have a pet peeve about stories where the characters just constantly are going through their day-to-day life and they can't communicate with each other on how they feel. I can't stand when two people have feelings for each other, they like each other, but they pretend like they don't. Just not for me, and I won't be reading the second book in this duology. Then I read Second Chance Year by Melissa Weisner, and I gave this one 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed reading this one. So it's about this gal who gets to relive this whole entire year of her life. And of course, she finds out along the way that some things that she wished didn't happen for a reason. It really makes you think about real life. Sometimes when we have those days or months or even years that aren't so great, well, they're happening that way for a reason. Another disappointing read for me this month was Twisted Games, which is book 2 of the Twisted series by Anna Huang. And I'm sorry, this book did not do it for me. I gave it 2.5 stars, which I always feel so guilty doing. I just found myself, I couldn't wait for it to be over. I just can't believe a character who's a princess, just there wasn't much depth to her. And the male character is just as boring. Like I just did not enjoy any of this at all, which was crazy because so many people say book 2 is the best one of the Twisted series. I guess they're just talking about the physical relationship between the two characters because that was probably the only thing that was interesting about the two of them. Rest of it was just not for me. Then we have The Last Love Note by Emma Gray. I got this one from Book of the Month. I gave this one 4 stars. Another book about death, sadly. This woman, her husband passes away. It tells a lot of backstory, things that happened in the past, and then also present time, potentially get her career going again. She has a young child. So she ends up getting stranded at a beach town in Australia and actually uses that time to kind of decide how she's going to move forward with her life and the potential of possibly a second chance at love. My favorite book this month is First Lie Wins by Ashley Elston. I give this 5+++ stars. I could not put this down. It is a total page turner. It catches you right from the very beginning. It is about this girl who assumes all these fake identities because she has jobs to complete. She just got her wrapped up into this business where she makes pretty decent money actually, taking on other identities to gather information, make things happen, basically do the dirty work for her boss, who she's never even met in real life. They always just communicate over the phone or through email or whatever. Well, her current client that she's faking her identity with, she actually starts to develop feelings for, and I don't know, things just get crazy and it's so good. I did not want this to end. Ignite Me by Tahereh Mafi, which is book 3 of the Shatter Me series. I'm slowly making my way through the series. This was a good one. I knew going into it that this is one of the highest rated books of the entire series. I gave it 5 stars, did not disappoint. You kind of have this whole sort of love triangle thing going on. It starts a little slow, but it gets so good. If you know anything about this series or if you're reading this series, this is where the main character, Juliet, has to count on her #1 enemy, Warner, to work together with her to take down the establishment. All right, the last book, which was actually the first book I read in January because I kind of went backwards with my list, is Adelaide by Genevieve Wheeler. I gave this one 5 stars. It is such a deep emotional book. I felt so sorry for the character in this book because she's just treated so poorly by someone she loves. It actually kind of started bringing me back to a time in my own life where things weren't so great and I was finding myself begging for the wrong person to be in love with me. And I don't think there's anything worse to be in that kind of situation. But if you like a really deep, heart-wrenching story, I highly recommend this one. And it's kind of short too, so it's a great read. That wraps up all of the books that I read in January. These are the 2 that I enjoyed the most that I highly recommend. And comment down below if you read in January, what was your favorite read of the month? Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.